This episode of Catch the Craze is sponsored by Forbidden, currently on Indiegogo, 8 days left. Deep within the Earth's core lies a race that has existed for thousands of years. A race who are forbidden from walking the surface of the Earth due to a curse cast upon them by the evil known as Nokron. Centuries later, the world has evolved, and so has Nokron, in the form of David Hunter, a billionaire whose intention is to dominate the globe. Legend has it that one day the Son of Fox will rise from the ashes of the earth to destroy all that Nokron has built. And that could never happen.
What's up, George? Who do we have on the show today?
Today on the show, Patrick Murphy, Echoes of the Triumphant. Check it out.
And what's on to get your mids?
We got the end, baby. The end.
The end is near.
Run!
About
the end of our stories.
Run for your life. And...
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the Dreamer, Medina, and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your meds, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze.
Welcome to Catch the Craze Podcast. I am your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man, and I am with...
George, the Dreamer, Medina. What's up, Sammy?
Why do they call him the Dreamer?
Yo, just so you know, my commitment to making this show happen does not stop. I'm in the backseat of my car. I'm in the backseat of my Jeep, flipping an episode. You know what I'm saying?
He's,
you know what I'm saying?
he's in the back seat of a Popo's car, because I'm locked up. They won't let me out.
So here we are. I'm over here. The show is coming to you. It's February 19th, episode 233. How's everybody doing? How you feeling?
Trace.
So real quick, Sam, you want to let everybody know what they should be doing right about now?
You should
or telling
be.
their friends to do?
You should be. Let's give them something to talk about. You should be at our Kickstarter right now, pledging. So, of the thousands of support followers on our social media, some of you out there might catch the crazies. And, you know, we can't catch the crazies without you. So we need you help.
Sammy, you got caught up in a time warp. It's February 19th. Our Kickstarter ended last week.
Oh, dear!
And it was successful.
It was so successful. Yo, we're back. Time warp. We're back. Thank you all you guys for supporting and pledging.
Yes, thank you.
We went back in time.
What I wanted you to tell everybody was to subscribe to our channel. Subscribe, hit the like button.
Subscribe,
Follow us on our social networks. I'm Medina Whip. My man right there is that Catch the Craze. Dude, it's insane. We had a good run. We had a good run on the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
We made our goal very early on, so we had a lot of time to play with. But now the book is getting completed. It should be at the printers by now. As long as the story that we got from our $250 pledger, big shout out to Crystal Haskins, is getting, it's got to be drawn and put together so we can put it in the book. So
Word.
Yeah, word. So yeah. Okay. But yeah, dude. So we got Patrick Murphy on the show, as we said earlier.
Yes, Patrick Dempsey
Patrick
is on the
Murphy.
show.
Oh, yeah. No, Patrick Murphy is the writer and creator of Echoes of the Triumphant.
Echoes of the Triumphant.
Which we're going to be talking about issue 0, but issue 1 premieres on Kickstarter next month, March. So we'll talk to him about that. And we also have the I say it all the time, Get Your Meds portion of the show. The Get Your Meds portion of the show will be The End.
The End. Although we've come to the end of the road.
And we're going to be discussing endings in the stories that we write.
Yes. Happy endings.
Yeah, endings, man. But yeah, dude, so what's going on? What you doing? I know you're busy. You're a busy entrepreneur, so give us a little scoop as to what you got going on.
Oh, everything, man. Everything. It's crazy. It's crazy. Since I've been working from home, I haven't taken a day off. I've been working round the clock. So I usually my day usually starts now. When I was working for the other people, my day usually started at about 4:45 in the morning. And I'd work out, take my dogs out, feed them, get my breakfast going, blah, 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 get in the car, talk to George as I'm driving to work. That's how my day would start. Now that I'm an entrepreneur broco, I start at 9 a.m. because I don't even go to sleep till about 2 a.m. And so I start at 9 a.m., I work out. And when I get up, I run straight into the studio and I do my first posts on social media for the day. Then, and during that time, I'm letting my pre-workout drink settle in and my protein bar settle in about a half hour before I work out. Then I work out, have breakfast with the wife and the dogs, and then I'm in the studio and I don't leave the whole damn day. And my days, basically it's part social media, part research, part content creation, whether I'm creating videos, editing videos, illustrating Forecast the Crazies, working on There's Nailing on My Toilet on the behind the scenes, or trying to pitch and create networks. So that's
busy days, son.
Those are my days, and that's how it's broken down. So it's exhausting.
You know, in our first issue, for everybody who backed the first Kickstarter and got the issue number 1 of Catch the Crazies, there was a scene in the book where your wife says, "I wish you didn't have to go to work today." And here you are. You are not going to work today. You are going to be working from home.
Yeah, so. And it's funny because you think that I'm in the studio alone, but I had to bring in 5 dog beds around me because these guys will bark and scratch at the door to get into the studio because they know I'm home. And so right now, underneath the table, they're all sleeping around me. And I just picked up one and put him on the chair because he had to get on the chair. So, so that's the only thing is that when I get up, I have to move slowly because the moment they hear me move, they move with me. It's like when I move, you move, just like that.
Just like that, son. Oh,
and,
that's like the beat for it right there, kid. I'm telling you, that beat is universal, sir. Universal, bro.
Universal.
Oh, shoot. All right, well, speaking of comics and stories and things of that nature, let's talk about our Get Your Meds segment for today.
Since you asked for it, let's do it. That's the wrong thing. I do that every single time. Woo! Where is the dead? Oh, it's over here.
It's time for your medicine.
It's time for your medicine. Jorge Medina,
Let's do it. So the end. I think one of the most interesting things, or I don't want to say hardest because I don't know that it's hard for some people. For some people it's easy. But one of the things that you definitely need to pay attention to when you're writing your story is not just your characters and your plot and your setup, but your ending, right? So the end. Let's discuss a little bit about end.
I lost you.
What is... Oh, no.
Now I got you.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, jeez.
Gotta stop
I'm telling you,
playing with your wand.
The back seat.
Right?
Whoa, easy.
That's all right. Stop acting up.
Stop playing with your wand in the backseat of the car. So endings, Sam. Talk to me about endings. How do you write a satisfying ending?
Oh man, I make certain that when I plot out the entire arc, that each chapter, which a comic book issue I consider a chapter, and that each chapter has a start, middle, and end, and that in the end, it leaves the reader wanting to know what just happened or what's about to happen. And because you want them to pick up that next issue. So you want to give them enough. You want to feed their appetite enough that it piques their curiosity to be able to say, oh, shit, I got to wait. Because now when you think about flipping into like binge watching, Netflix, now they'll produce an entire series. So there is no anticipate. You can just keep going. Now you have to wait. The risk factor is, will they come back between the length of time between the two? But the goal is to pique the curiosity, keep them in suspense, and let their imagination run wild, and let them invent in their mind what they think will happen. And then hopefully when they get the book, they get to answer that question on the story that they imagine in their head and whether or not they were in line or not. I don't hear you. I don't hear you, George.
I'm going to give you 7 points.
There you go. You gave me 7 points?
I'm going to give you 7 points. You tell me if you agree with these points. Some of them you already made. Check it out. Number 1, evoke emotions.
Emotions.
Do you think it is important for an ending to evoke emotions?
Yes. Well, second, yes.
And now, how do you evoke that emotion?
You have to get them to relate to the character, buy into the characters. It's all about the characters. It's all about the characters. It's character building. It's funny because I did a segment on the Crazy Intent or Less about what the it factor. What makes it great. What made Invader Zim. What made The Walking Dead. And it was about character building. It was about creating characters that are relatable, that are likable, or hateable. You want to hate them enough to want to see...
Especially that villain.
Yes. You want to hate them enough to want to see them lose. You want to like the character enough to want to see them win. You know what I mean? And you want to be invested enough to want to enjoy the journey.
Yeah. I think evoking that emotion, it has a lot to do with that character, right? So, like, you want to make sure that if you want your audience to cry, they have to care about the character and what happens to it.
Yes.
If you want to laugh, they have to connect with those characters somehow. So I think evoking emotions and you know what? And not even just leaving it for the ending, but throughout the story, right? In order for it to happen throughout the story, I think that character development, that character building has to be there. Evoking emotions, I guess it depends. At the end, for me, it depends on what kind of story you're writing, right? So, like, you want to evoke emotions? I guess laughter is an emotion.
Yes,
fear is an emotion. So you do.
Joy.
All right. Ensure that your ending makes sense. I think that's very important, dude. Make sure that it makes sense.
I make dollars.
Make sure that it makes sense. And making sure that it makes sense is you have to make sure that it resolves the storylines that you've put together.
Word.
So all these storylines, all these plot twists you have going on, you have to make sure that these things by the end of your story are resolved. And I know that you're writing in chapters or whatever, and even within those chapters, I guess some of those storylines not necessarily get resolved, but you move them to the next, right? Because you're leaving that cliffhanger there.
Yes.
But when you end the whole thing, it's got to resolve a lot of the storylines, so there aren't any questions. Now let me ask you this, Sam. Do you leave room for interpretations in your endings? Or do you like to give the audience, no, this is what it is, and it's done. That's it. No room for interpretation.
I like to play with the reader's imagination. I like to give them an opportunity to fill in the blanks. And to figure out whether or not... I want them to play detective. You know what I'm saying? I want them to be part of the process. I want them to try to figure out what Jerry's going to do next, or if Jerry makes this decision, what effects would it have? And I think when you get the audience to participate, like they did in Harry Potter, where everybody was trying to come up with new endings and writing the next chapter, for J.K. Rowling and all this stuff. That's when you've really connected with the audience and your characters have life. So yeah, I want some sort of participation on the characters. I mean, when you think about The Walking Dead, I can tell you on two hands that how many people have a different character that they fell in love with on The Walking Dead, because each character on its own was strong enough to carry a story. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the key.
You ever saw the movie Inception?
Yes.
You saw it? Do you remember it?
Give me a clue. That's with Keanu Reeves? No.
No. It's with who was the kid from the movie basically, I mean, and for anybody who hasn't seen it, I mean, spoiler alert, but it's with the guy from the Third Rock from the Sun. I can't remember his name now. But the ending, the end of the story ends with him turning, like, it ends with questions.
Oh, yeah, with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, and a lot of people were like, yo, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
What happens? Like, they want to know what happens at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And like, and it can work and it can backfire, I think. I think leaving an ending for interpretation could be a good or a bad thing.
See, here, it's good when if you're doing comic books, it's good if you're a major publisher who have a consistent distribution channel where you're going to get your books regularly.
So you don't have to wait long periods between.
It's bad for an indie when you don't have the distribution and you're limited in your reach. And if you're only banking on Kickstarters, right, to get it out there, they have to wait 3 months in between. They're going to forget. So I think what happens is they work if you have a continuous cycle. If not, I think the best way to do it is to collect it into a graphic novel or trade paperback.
But I think what we're talking about here, I guess what you're saying is when you think of ending, you think of ending of that 24-page comic book, right? That's what you're talking about? Like
I'm thinking, 24-page so I'm looking chapter by chapter. How does the chapter end? It's almost like an episode.
I'm talking about end of story. The story ends.
It ends? No. I think
there's going to be no more.
Yes, I think. So that's a different story. So,
right.
I would like. What's an example of that? What was a good one that?
What, like a comic?
All right, like Braveheart. Right? So it ends and they give you a little insight on what happens after his death, right?
Okay.
But
okay.
and then they all of a sudden they grow some balls and they decide to go and fight when they should have fought when he was alive, right? But then what happens after? So then your imagination runs with like, how long did it last? What happened here? What happened there? So I think you want to have enough of an ending, strong enough ending, that it puts closure to some things, but you want to also give the liberty to the reader or the viewer the opportunity to explore options or potential what would have happened here. Another example is Harry Potter when J.K. Rowling said this is the last one, this is the last book. The fans went wild on writing stories because while she left it on a high, she also left a lot of opportunities for you to tell your own story, or for you to imagine what happened next. So I think it's a play on both. You want to leave it strong enough where you fill the belly, like they're satisfied, but they want dessert. So the meal was great. They love the meal, but they want some dessert. I can't hear you.
I think a good ending left for interpretation is when the arc of the main character has ended.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then, because you talked about Braveheart. Yeah. The ending of Braveheart, he dies, right? And he's dead. Yes. He's done. The only interpretation left is what happens after he dies.
Yeah.
That, you can do whatever you want with that. But if they would have left it where you don't know if he lived or died, I mean, personally, I have a problem with endings like that. Like if at the end of Braveheart you didn't know whether he lived or died.
Well, no, there was
it'd be unfulfilling for me.
I don't remember the movie. You just said that. There was a movie on Netflix, made for Netflix, where the guy is a what do you call it? Mercenary for hire, and he was supposed to be protecting this girl, whatever. He goes up, but falls off a cliff. And it ends that you think he's dead. So now you're like, did he die? Did he live?
Right.
What happened? And so I think, while a lot of the story closed some things, but I think the fact that you don't know if he's truly dead, he fell off the cliff, whatever, is the person dead? That's where you get to play. I think you want to get the reader to play. And get them to be have like some sort of vested interest, but you want to put closure to major things. There's got to be, you got subplots within the plot, so you have to have the majority of it closed off.
Yeah, and in the example you're giving, and I never saw the movie. I don't know which movie you're talking about.
I'll remember it later.
Yeah, but I think that ending is satisfying. I think if you really connected to that character, right? So like, if you've connected to that character, then you care whether he lived or didn't.
Yeah.
If you don't care about that character, I don't give a crap. To me, at the end, if I didn't care about that character, that ending is stupid. Like, what happened to this guy?
Right.
Because I didn't connect with him.
Right.
But like, and at this point, I don't even care. Like, this is dumb. But if you do connect to that character, you want to know, damn, what happened? Like, is there more? What are they doing? Another one? Is there a continuation? What happened to that character? So it goes back to what we were talking about, right? Like, it all goes back to that character development and building tension, leading up to that ending,
Yes.
But I think you said something that's important when you write, you know your beginning, middle, and end.
Yes.
So know your ending before you start writing. I think it's a good technique to getting to a good ending or to having a good ending. It may not always work like that, but at least knowing where you're going makes it easier, I think, to take that journey and write that story.
A wise man once said, "You got to know when to hold on, know when to fold on,
Good old Kenny.
know when to walk away,
One of the best songs, one of the best lyrics to songs ever. The Gamblers, the Ish.
Ever.
The Ish.
Yes.
But with that being said, Sammy, that is our Get Your Meds for today. Tell us what you guys think on the comments below. Let us know what you think.
Yes.
What makes a good ending? What do you agree, disagree? Let us know.
Yes, if you'd like to chat, because that's not a consistent habit that our listeners have. We'd love for you to participate.
Why are you reprimanding the audience?
Yo, why are you just looking at me?
Bow, bow.
Right, how come you're not talking back to me? Where's the love? so yes,
man.
Put your comments below. Hit subscribe. Give the thumbs up if you like this episode of Get Your Medina Hayes. Mahida, Georgie Medina Hayes. And so let's see. We got 3 minutes before our guest comes on. So we're going to cut to a commercial. And when we come back, he probably will be here. Who knows?
Right.
I liked it together. Let's see if that one works. I don't know if it's going to work. There we go.
Why are we hiding? I'm not hiding. I'm trying to catch it. Oh, what are we catching? What are we gonna catch? I'm trying to catch the craze. Catch the craze. The what? The craze? Like the disco craze? No. What are you wearing? What do you mean, what am I wearing? What are you wearing? I'm fresh. No one says fresh anymore. Why are you acting up? I'm not acting up. You acting up. Come on, man. Stop acting up. Candy girl.
All right. And that was Stop Acting Up. That was the first introduction of the Crazy Man. And we lost George.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Throwback.
Throwback. So I gotta fix this thing because all of my commercials are not linked up anymore. I gotta go back and rework that stuff.
Oh no.
Yes, it looks like someone might be in the waiting
things
room.
too. All right, well, let's welcome in Pat Murphy, writer and creator of Echoes of the Triumphant.
There he goes, right there. Admit. Hello there.
There he is.
Hey there, how you doing?
How'd he do?
What's going on, Pat? How are you?
Pretty good, not bad.
Nice.
So welcome to Catch the Craze. I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera, and that's my co-host George the Dreamer Medina.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get through the pandemic,
Dude.
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
Crazy
Man,
times.
aren't we all? So how are you doing? Where are you? You look comfy, man. Where are you right now?
Yeah, I'm in Ottawa, Ontario right now. I'm
Nice.
just chilling out. Yeah, just in my apartment right now, and not much is going on. Just
What's the weather like over there? Is it cold?
oh yeah, it's really cold.
It's freezing, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I just went for a run today. I really regret it. I might be like hiccuping like this the whole time. Just to warn you guys.
George does it all the time. It's all right.
So, Pat, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for letting us read your issue number 0 of Echoes of the Triumphant. It was really good. I had fun reading it. Sam did as well. But tell us a little bit about Pat Murphy. Tell us where you're from. You know how you got into this whole crazy business of doing comics. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, I'm from Ottawa. Yeah, I kind of have like an odd background, I guess. Like I graduated with a degree in economics at the University of Ottawa, and then I kind of realized that like, I don't know, like life's too short. You might as well just like get into your passions and that sort of thing. And so I just decided to just start this project like right after I graduated, basically. I did this on the side, like I'm working full time at Statistics Canada. But yeah, like I've always just been a fan of comics. I've been a fan of it since I was like 12 years old. So I've just like learned so much. I was really happy that I got to do the issue number 0 prelude to the whole series that I'm planning, because I just learned a lot. Because like there's a lot that goes into it, right? Like you gotta find an editor, like an artist that like matches like the tone of your work, and you have to find like a letterer, a guy who'll like help you out with the cover and stuff like that, and then there's all this design work that goes into it. And so yeah, that's a pretty good explainer.
Yeah, no, I mean, the book, as I can tell, I mean, the amount of names on the book, you really have a team working on this thing, and that's very, I mean, it's hard. Like you said, it's tough. We, Sam and I, we're working on a book now together, and it definitely is and it's a labor of love, right? Because you're doing it, you're not getting paid for it right now. You're hoping it blows up. But tell us a little bit about just your writing background. Have you always been a writer? I know you went to school for it, but have you always been a writer, or where'd that passion come from?
So yeah, I went to Asbury College. I did this like sort of weird like international baccalaureate program, and like it was like this program where they kind of let you like delve into your passions a bit. And so like I leaned more into like English literature, and like I really fell in love with like David Mamet's work. He's the guy who made Glenn Ross. I probably butchered the title. And but like there's another book that he wrote, another play that he made that I absolutely loved. It was called Edmund, and it was just like super dark and gritty. It was basically about this guy who, he's like a white collar dude, and like he's just kind of like fed up with his life, and he sort of just goes on this like trail of like vigilantism. And like it's not vigilantism in the sense that like he wants to pursue justice. It's just like vigilantism just so that he can feel something, he can get some sort of high.
Right.
And,
wow.
So it was like one of the darkest but like one of the most like spectacular reads like I ever had.
Yeah.
like growing up as a kid. And so that's really the goal with like my series. Like I want it to be like very gritty and because you know that's just my favorite sort of atmosphere. Like I'm a very huge Daredevil fanboy.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I've like Frank Miller is just like my absolute hero.
Yeah.
And have you guys read the new Chip Zdarsky run?
No, I haven't. I haven't. How is it? Have you? It's good.
It's really good. It's like there's this like realistic layer to it, and so can I spoil one thing about it?
Sure. Go for it.
Okay. Yeah. So it starts out like Daredevil's like kind of like out of training because he just got hit by a truck, and so he just got out of like rehabilitation, and so he tries to like stop this fight with like a couple of guys, and he kicks one dude, and then this dude he hits his head on this wall, and he dies of head trauma. And so like that's a pretty like like a realistic layer to it all. Like
Yeah.
you know, violence is like it's something that should be looked at. Like there's a lot of like boxers who went into the ring and just like never stepped out, and so
No. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
You know.
So,
You know.
like-
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say he was really talented, Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah.
that's all
No.
I
No.
was gonna say.
You know. You mentioned fighting. I noticed that your character, the main character here, is a fighter. Is that something that you were interested in growing up? Like, were you a boxer, or did you get into like any martial arts or anything like that? Is that something that's in your background?
Yeah, so when I was 21, actually, so I was working at Statistics Canada, and like, don't get me wrong, like I love the opportunity and stuff like that. Like I did a lot of great work there, but like, you know, I was just doing a lot of grind work, just like a lot of computing, and so that's when I took up boxing a bit.
Okay.
And yeah, it's like I have so much respect for boxers. Like
Yeah.
it is one of the hardest things to ever do. So
Absolutely. I had a friend of mine who was a brawler in the streets, but when he took up boxing and they put him into spar, he got his butt whipped. But in the streets, he was undefeated. But the skill level was very different when you're boxing, and you know you can't do what you do in the streets. So yeah, it's definitely a different skill set.
Absolutely.
I-
Dude.
Actually, can I just say one thing? Like I saw like one of the coolest things at my boxing gym. So like they put you in there with when you're beginning with like very experienced fighters. So I was put in the ring when I was like starting out with this very experienced dude. So like say if I did something kind of out of control, like he would just he'd know how to handle it, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But I was talking to him afterwards, and he boxes just to like keep the weight off. So like he was actually extremely overweight, and
Oh.
he persistently like does boxing just so like he can just stay fit, and it works for him. So
Yeah, the
yeah,
cardio.
I just thought I'd say that like it's
Yeah.
really effective. Yeah, it's really
no,
healthy.
no. I love that you incorporated that into the story. Like that's part of like who this character is. So
Yeah.
it's always I guess people say you write what you know, right?
Yeah.
So you know, and even some of the like the punches that are thrown, it almost looks like they were referenced. You know what I mean? Like, you know that I think that was very well done. Tell us a little bit about the concept though, because the concept is kind of deep.
Yeah, so I guess the best way to describe it is that it's like the worst case scenario if like superpowered beings sort of existed. So it's not like The Boys in the sense where they're superheroes and they're like extremely like egotistical, but it's like it's bad in the sense that like the government and all these businessmen, they just want to corrupt they just want to exploit all these like superpowered beings, right? And so they want them to do physical labor just to make the city like an economic like superpower. So they put them in like places like construction and mining, and they do this just so that they can get like a lot of economic gains, and like those I call them tweaks in the story.
Right.
It's pretty synonymous with like freak and weak, and so
Yeah.
I thought it was like pretty demeaning and belittling, and so like obviously there's some people who don't like the system, and so there's like a rebel gang of like tweak misfits, and the leader of that gang is this dude called Lionheart, and he wants to put put in his own sense of order into the city, and of course it's like the main character's job just to like preserve order in that city. So yeah, there's like a lot of like inequality and inequity happening in there, and yeah, it's more or less it. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like what you actually have done with the main character, where he has an arc where he starts. You know, there's a reason why he feels the way he feels. I don't want to give too much away, but there's a reason why he feels the way he feels about the tweaks, right? And he discovers that, well, maybe I'm thinking I'm going about this the wrong way. So I like the way that you kind of injected that into the story, and that's just issue 0. So I'm assuming it's gonna just, you know, go from there as far as like where his mindset goes.
Yeah. So yeah, so like in the first, so that's the prelude.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wanted to do something with him where like I wanted him to like not be like a very prejudiced person and a very hateful person. So like after the prelude's done, he's sort of in this place where like he just, I guess he sort of respects tweaks, but like he's not outright like hateful towards them because he can't really sell a character like that. So
Right.
I feel as though I positioned him kind of nicely.
But it's almost as if he redeemed himself. So you know what I noticed is that it wasn't because he was being prejudiced for the sake of being prejudiced. He was self-absorbed. He was pitying himself because he didn't get the opportunity he wanted. He blamed them, although they were victims of the incident.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think with that moment where the events turned, and when he was helped by that which he resented, he had a realization where it's like, wow, you know, I'm blaming them, but they're also victims as well. And I think that was a great way of showing his humanity throughout that process.
Well, so much for not spoiling it. Jesus Christ.
But that was issue 0, right?
Yeah.
That's the prelude.
Yeah.
But you know,
there's more to come actually.
yes, there's more to come.
Good,
That was a good way of showing his ability to self-correct.
Yeah.
And the reason for, I guess, what he's going to do moving forward. So I enjoyed that issue 0, and it's funny because issue 0s were like something that even like years ago we used to read all the time, right? Like an issue 0 was coming out, and they kind of stopped doing issue 0s. Why did you decide on doing? And it's not even like a short one. It's not even like a 14 pager. It's like a full 28 page like story. So where did the idea for issue 0 come from? Is it from like the old school way of like just putting these issue 0s out?
I guess sort of like I love old school vibes. But yeah, for me, that's actually my first comic book ever that I made.
Wow.
So I saw that as an opportunity to just kind of like just find my footing, really. Just find where I'm at with my team, and just like, you know, I felt as if it was like a good idea to just like to do that, to see where we're all at. So, you know, when we made that book, my artist noticed that there was some like like anatomy issues, and so like, you know, he learned from that, and then like I didn't think too much about like where to place like the lettering bubbles and the dial or like the narration boxes, and that's a very, very important thing, because if you don't know where to put that, then that could actually screw up like your whole page.
Absolutely.
So I learned a lot from it. Yeah.
Where did you find your team? Like, how did you put the team together? Your artist and your right? Where did you go to? Did you know these people, or how did you find them?
Sort of. So like Jared's really awesome. So like I actually had 2 artists before him, and they actually gave up on me like halfway through the project. So
That's crazy.
the fact that he like stuck around with me is just like, it's just awesome. So I think he's really awesome. He's got this really wicked sense of style, which is like perfect for the world that I want, where it's like he walks that line of like it being gritty and very sci-fi-ish at the same time.
Yeah.
So I also got help from a gentleman by the name of Dominic Bercier. He runs Mirror Comics in Ottawa, Ontario, and he helped me get in touch with like a couple of letterers. So I got help from a gentleman by the name of Michael McAdams, who also does a lot of great work. Yeah, his lettering is on point. Like I had a couple other letterers who, I don't know, it's kind of a funny story. Like I had this one letterer, she was a mom of two, and then, you know, I gave her a bit of feedback, and then she's just like, all right, I can't do this. You know, I have two kids, you know.
Oh
And,
no.
so like, yeah, but like it was no big deal. It was just like it was just a one day thing, and then I find like that's a funny thing about these projects, like having like very uh, like personality is like a pretty important factor, you know. If
Yeah.
like people are kind of like I don't know, it's important to get along, that sort of thing. And yeah, Greg Warrenchak did the cover, and yeah, he did an amazing job. And I'm really happy with the turnout.
Nice. Are they coming? Are they all coming back for the project for issue 1?
Yep. So issue 1 is all finished. All the art is finished. All the lettering is finished. The cover is finished. Yeah. Right now, I have the pre-launch page for for a Kickstarter for issue number 1 ready.
Sweet.
And right now, we're just halfway through issue 2.
Oh, great. Good job. Good job, man. So the Kickstarter for issue 1, when will that be live?
So right now, the only thing that we plan on releasing it in March. Everything's very close to being finished. We just have to make like a couple of tweaks just to make things sort of digital and printer friendly.
Gotcha.
Nice. So,
awesome,
what's
dude.
the long-term goal for this series? Is it going to be a limited series, an ongoing series?
So right now, like the first arc was in issue number 0, and so the second arc is spanning from issue number 1 to number 4. And you know, if all goes well, I have a couple other arcs planned for my character and the series. I have about like 5 or 6 planned, and just fingers crossed that it all goes well.
Good job, man. Yeah, good luck. I hope everything does go well, man, because this is a nice opening for the story. Well, we read it anyway, so I can't wait to see what issue 1 has in store for us.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So, where can people reach you? How can they connect with you?
So I'd say the best way to connect with me is just via Instagram. So anybody can reach me at Reverb Comics, and I run a website called reverbcomics.com. Yeah, those are basically the best ways to reach me. I also got just a Facebook profile. I get lonely sometimes. Just Pat Murphy. You can hit me up anytime.
There you go.
And just for the sake of anybody who may have a question, have you determined your reward levels yet on your Kickstarter for March or no?
I don't know them off the top of my head. So basically, like most of the rewards are pretty. Sorry, I don't have the sheet in front of me, but
No
like
problem.
the rewards are just the lowest one is like a digital copy, and then you know, obviously people can get like a print. There's gonna be backer credit rewards available, and I'm doing this like I don't know, it's sort of fun, like this sort of. Can I swear, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a tweaked as fuck sort of perk, and basically the gist of it is that like if you want to be included in the book, you just basically back that reward, hit us up, and then we'll put you in as a tweak during issue number 3 and 4.
All right.
So that's kind of fun.
Okay.
That's cool, man.
So then although this airs later, but because it's going to happen this weekend, who do you have, Kana or Poirier? Are you a UFC fan?
Oh man, because they're both strikers, eh? They're both like really talented kickboxers. So I'd say like usually what happens in like Conor McGregor's fights is that like if he doesn't get it in the first or second round, then he's lost.
Because he gasses
I
out.
feel. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think if Conor did exactly what he was supposed to do and did not drink throughout the entire training camp and stuck to his diet, and he goes in as the Conor, the hungry Conor, he has it. if he took any kind of shortcuts, he won't.
It's that money. It's that money, man.
Yes.
Exactly.
Root of all evil. But cool, man. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you being on the show, Pat. Good luck with the Kickstarter. Definitely let us know how it's going. We definitely gonna have to have you back and see where we are with the book. And yeah, look forward to it, man. Well, I'll definitely be back in it. So thank you, man.
Yes, thank you, buddy. And
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
You got it. I'll send you a link once this is up.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Peace.
Later,
Have a
bud.
great night.
So yeah, so cool. So I knew he was a UFC fan because he had the octagon inside his book. So I had to ask that
was
question. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I mean, you can hear the struggles of landing a team and the disappointments of starting something and then somebody pulling out on you.
That sucks, man. Halfway through it, that stinks.
Yeah,
Twice it happened to him with the letterer too.
Yeah, that's no.
I mean, it's
bueno.
tough. It's not an easy business, man. But
Yeah.
kudos to him for sticking it out. And it looks like he's got some plans for this book. So definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Echoes of the Triumphant. Very cool title, actually.
Echoes of the
I like that.
Triumphant.
I like that, dude. And so that leads us to the end of the show. Sammy, what do we got next week? Next week is the 26th.
Next week is let's see, what do we got next week? I gotta pull up the.
Yeah, February 26th. We have, I believe it's
Let's see.
the comic book school, right? Comic book school guys.
Yeah, no. February 26th.
Huh? Yeah, next week. Well, you'll find out. You'll see
find out.
who's on the show next week. You'll find out.
Yeah,
Tune in
February
next
10th
week.
is actually the rapper.
Oh, my boy. Yeah, Lou Seif.
That's right. That's
Forget
right.
about
That's
Lou
right.
coming on, man.
I got this spreadsheet here
My
that's
man
like crazy.
Yeah, check that out. If you like some old school hip hop, man, that's gonna be fun. So check that out. Lou's coming up next week. We will be back. Actually, we have shows all week, right, Sam? I mean, the way you hit it up now, it's every week there's a show.
Every day there's a show.
Every day there's
Every
a
day.
week. Every day.
Yes, I got it's
Every day you
crazy. I'm drawing on the weekends live. That's been really popular on Instagram. So thank you for all of the Instagram supporters who have been watching my drawing segments. That's on Saturdays and Sundays, and Mondays it's the Crazy Intent of Lust. Tuesdays normally is the motivational, but I put some promos out, video promos of the Crazy Man. And then, so I actually moved today. Yesterday I put the Crazy Man out. Today I put the Crazy Intent of Less. And then on Wednesdays it's What's in the Box. Fridays we got the indie stuff. And then Thursdays I leave room for any surprise things, last minute things I want to throw in there. So, but every day is a recording session.
Busy.
Crazy.
All right. Well, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
Follow us on Instagram, on Facebook. Go to our websites, crazycomics.com with 2 E's. Go to getyourmeds with a Z.com.
Yep.
Check us out on Instagram. And yeah, subscribe, follow, like, all that good stuff.
Deuce Bigelow, American Gigolo.
I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
George the Dreamer Medina. And we out.
And we are... I gotta find the credits.
It's just it's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met say my name, right? This is what you were thinking? Oh,
How
you described me? You said I'm the what?
Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Candy girl.
Don't forget, hit the link below and pledge to Forbidden today on the 8 Days Left.